All right, my future millionaires. Let's get real for a sec. Many of you hit me up asking, dude, what is the secret sauce? How'd you stack that paper? The big bucks. And honestly, when I tell them the truth, it is like I'm speaking a foreign language. Nobody believes it. It is always some wild theory, some complex algorithm, some secret society. But the truth, my friends, is usually boring, usually simple, usually not sexy at all. And if there is one thing I've learned, it is this. Every single unnecessary expense is you. Personally firing a money-making employee, straight up think about that for a second. Every latte, every subscription you never use, every impulse buy, that is money that could be out there, working its butt off for you, compounding, growing, multiplying, but instead, it is just gone, vanished, poof. So, let's dive into the nitty-gritty, the real deal, the stuff nobody else is telling you. Imagine this. I'm 27, sitting on a cool $1.3 million. Liquid, just chilling, and then, zap, a time machine, drops me back at 20. Absolutely nothing. Nada, zip, no money, no connections, no thriving business. Just me, my wits, and an empty bank account. What would I do differently? You ask, what is the cheat code, the blueprint, the step-by-step guide? Well, my friends, these are the real steps, in order from someone who is actively in the game. Right now, if you're in your early 20s, even mid to late 20s, and you're trying to figure this whole money thing out, this is for you. We're not wasting any time. We're getting straight to it. Step 1, and this is crucial, absolutely non-negotiable. Reset your lifestyle burn. I mean, seriously, we gotta start here before anything else, because if you don't grasp this, if you're not living this, you're already behind. If you're still living at home, where your expenses are low, that is a massive advantage. Huge. But here is the kicker. You can blow that advantage faster than you can say, inflation, if you're not careful. So many people just gloss over this. They focus on income or investing, thinking that is the magic bullet. But it doesn't matter how much money you make or how smart you invest. If you've got this trap hanging over you, you start making a little bit of money. Maybe your first couple $1,000s a month, and immediately your brain starts doing weird things. It is always the material stuff. The new gadgets, the fancy clothes, the look-at-me purchases. I almost fell for this. In my early 20s, the endless food deliveries, the expensive nights out. You don't understand how quickly these bills, these tiny, innocent-looking bills, stack up. And the guys I've seen struggle the longest, the ones who are always complaining about being broke, they're spending money, trying to look rich before they actually are. I know. It sounds cheesy, it sounds clickbait, but it is the absolute truth. The gap between just looking wealthy and actually being wealthy is a chasm. A gaping maw trying to look cool for friends, who won't even care in a couple of years, maybe even a couple of months. That, my friends, that is what is going to eat you alive. It is a slow, painful death to your financial freedom. When your expenses are low, guess what? You've got runway, you've got breathing room. You can actually take risks, calculated risks. You can breathe for a second without the wolf at the door. That is why I constantly preach about getting out of survival mode. It frees up your money to go back into the things that actually make you more money. Yourself, your skills, your education. Maybe you have a job, a school, a business you need to reinvest into. That is awesome. Those months are coming, but not until you keep that burn rate super low. So cut all the unnecessary expenses. Seriously, every single one. Cancel those subscriptions you forgot you even had. Stop trying to impress anyone. The real flex, my friends, is the number in your bank account. Not today, but in a couple of years. Not what is on your wrist, or what you're driving, or any of that superficial garbage. That doesn't matter. That brings us to step 2, which is learn to earn before you learn to invest. I know. It sounds super strange, especially coming from me. A guy who talks about investing all the time. This whole channel is practically built on investing, right? But hear me out. You need to even stop thinking about investing for a hot minute. Stop asking, how do I catch the next stock market rally? How do I catch the next Bitcoin boom? Your problem right now is you're not making enough money yet, period. Full stop. Investing is a multiplier. It is a tool, a powerful one, for preserving and growing your wealth. But if you don't have any wealth, if you don't have any money to invest, then it means absolutely nothing. And I'm not here to burst your bubble entirely, but investing $200 a month or $300 a month, it is good. It is a start, but I'm sorry, it is just not going to change your life, not like it might have in the 90s or the 80s. That is just not enough. You need to be investing multiple thousands a month to make this worth it. And if you don't have that kind of money to invest in the first place, that is a skill set issue. That is an income problem. So multiplying zero or multiplying very little, it doesn't move the needle at all. What does move the needle, what makes all the difference, is obsessing over your skill set. What can you do that someone will pay real money for? Serious money. What are you genuinely getting better at month over month, year over year? We'll talk about this in a second, but that is the whole game you have to worry about. Once you can really earn the investing part, it becomes obvious, it becomes easy. Your whole life becomes much, much easier too. You're able to buy the nice dinners. You're actually able to invest more, truly invest. You're going to be able to take care of your family. You'll have money to spend on leisure, on travel, on experiences. And then, you'll actually have money to deploy. This concept is a lot simpler than it sounds, but trying to learn the complex portfolio investing stuff, or, God forbid, trying to become a day trader, that is just backwards. Entirely backwards. Earn first, build the skill, the investing stuff, all that good stuff. It comes afterwards, and that leads us to, in my personal opinion, step 3, learn sales, specifically remote sales. If you can swing it, that is the golden ticket. Think appointment setting, high ticket closing, tech sales, like an SDR role, or BDR. Those roles, my friends, are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And here's the best part. They are very, very well paid. Outrageously well paid. I know, some of you, a lot of people actually, will roll their eyes at sales. They'll say, oh, sales, that is not for me. I'm not a salesy person. But I genuinely believe it is the fastest, most unfair advantage available to anyone in their 20s, especially if you weren't particularly good at school. This is especially for those people, because I wasn't. I really wasn't. That is why I think I thrived so much. I was naturally shy, an introvert even. I wasn't very good at numbers, or math, or traditional school stuff, but genuinely talking to people about things I was interested in, it helped me a ton, a massive ton. You learn almost immediately how people think, how they make decisions, what actually moves someone from, you know what, I'm kind of interested, to yes, let's get this deal done. That is not just business acumen. That is a life skill, a fundamental life skill. It shows up in every negotiation, every relationship, every single time you need buy-in from someone. I don't know. The income ceiling in sales, if you're good, if you're even decent, is basically non-existent. I've seen 22, 23, 24-year-olds closing $30,000 a month, doing remote sales, no office, no commute. They're just obviously taking a ton of calls. But there is freedom to that, true freedom. They can work from anywhere, and the mentality it builds. Oh man, that is worth more than gold. When you're in sales, you hear no. Constantly, it is like a broken. You get told to, well, to EF off, you get hung up on, slam doors in your face. Those are objections, and that kind of makes it fun. In a weird masochistic way, you learn not to take it personally. These people don't know you, right? You just learn to keep moving, to shrug it off, to find the next opportunity. That alone, that thick skin, that resilience is worth more, in my opinion, than a lot of college degrees. So if you don't know where to start with setting appointments. It is the entry point into that world. The learning curve is a lot shorter. You're going to make a lot less money than a closer. Sure, but at least it puts you in the room. With closers, with business owners, with entrepreneurs, people who can actually teach you this stuff, show you the ropes, expose you to the real game. That is all that matters. Getting in the room, getting access. And obviously I'm biased, but I hit my first $10,000 a month freelancing after leaving my sales job. I wouldn't have had this business skill set if it wasn't for my sales job. I was doing lead generation and appointment setting for realtors. I still do the exact same thing, just in an agency format where I now have contractors doing the work for me. So if you want to learn how to sell a skill as a service, get to $3,000 to $5,000 a month online, I will help you choose that service and get your first few clients, at least in this year, 2026. You can apply below. You can potentially get on a call with me. Seriously. Let's move on to step 4, which is just kill the optionality. Seriously, kill it with fire. And I know, you have to kill the constant exposure to all these different business opportunities. Let's say you're in sales, or you're running an e-commerce store, or you're creating content. And after 3 to 4 months, you're actually starting to see some traction. Things are clicking. I've seen people do this. They get their first real sale, or they get a couple of $1,000s a month in orders. Things are looking up, the momentum is building, and then they see some guru on Twitter talking about some new thing, some new drop shipping method, some AI automation agency, some crypto play. And what do? They drop everything. And then, of course, what happens? You're not giving it your attention, your focus, your energy. Everything will dry up. Everything will kill itself. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm not saying don't try things, right? When you're 20, you should be trying everything, experimenting. But there is a huge difference between exploring at the start and abandoning something that is actually making money. Dude, I don't care if it is making $1. Seriously, $1 if someone is willing to whip out their credit card and pay you something for an exchange of a product or service, that means something. It is a powerful signal, even if it is on the content side. Clearly something is working, so why? Why would you dump it? That is a huge signal, a massive green light. Most people never even get there. So don't even think about walking away from it. The guys who build the real money, the 6 figures, the 7 figures, the 8 figures, they pick a vehicle, they stay in it long enough to actually get somewhere. And that is it. I know, that is the secret that everyone looks for, and it is just not a very sexy strategy. So I think that is what actually kills it. The shiny object syndrome, it is the #1 killer of actual progress, of actual wealth being made in the first place. I've watched it happen over and over again. Please, please, please. Don't let you be one of those people. And that brings us to step 5. Once you've cleared that, you're probably going to be very busy. Life is about to get very, very hectic, chaotic even. You're going to have to just deal with it. Okay, seriously, accept it. This decade, from 20 to 29, 20 to 30, is incredibly hectic, and for a lot of guys, it is either kids, or it is career, or it is going to school, or it is starting a business, or it is all of the above, a beautiful, chaotic mess. You need to be ready for that. I want you to almost get excited about this. This took me a while to learn, to truly internalize, but you're going to have clients who are just nightmares, truly awful. You're going to have plans that fall apart spectacularly, things you were counting on, deals you were counting on for months, and then, poof, it just all comes to nothing. Every single one of those moments, like, you're going to make mistakes. It is going to make you a better person. It is going to make you learn how to run a business one day. Not just be the guy who is constantly yapping about it, constantly theorizing. And I've gotten to a point where I almost, like this. A difficult client situation. It used to really piss me off, really stress me out. I'd lose sleep over it. Now, I look at it as like, okay, this is going to make me better at X. And I come out the other side of it, sharper, with more money. With the client retained, or worst case, we just dump the headache anyways, right? Problem solved. The people who are kind of crumbling, the ones who are just unfortunate, those are the ones who are going to stay stuck. They're going to say entrepreneurship is hard. Dude, it is hard. It absolutely is. It is the cheesy quote of like, being rich is hard, being poor is hard. You can pick which one you're going to want at the end of the day and just move on. That is life, dude. Accept it. Don't let it surprise you when it shows up. Take it as a sign that you're in the right game, that you're playing to win. That is what I'd recommend here. Okay, seriously, embrace the chaos. Step 6, your first $100,000. It is going to be an absolute grind, a mother effer. But that is fine, right? It is going to be very difficult, excruciatingly difficult. Maybe even a little bit longer than that, $250,000, whatever. But it is going to take the longest, the sacrifice.